Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Now, if you love getting the inside track on the Springboks, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession for more of this kind of in-depth analysis. Today, we're jumping straight into the recent announcement of the Springboks' second alignment camp. Rassie Erasmus has invited 54 players. We're not just reading out a list here. We want to explore the thinking behind these selections and what they might tell us about the coach's current plans.
Yeah, absolutely. These alignment camps, they give us a really interesting window into the coach's radar, don't they? It's like a broader look. It's not just the guys who are already capped or, regulars. Remember Edwil Vandermeer?
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't really in these early camps before 2024, but then bang, starts the first test, gets a try. So
Yeah.
it just shows that, current form really can force the door open.
That's a great point. Okay, so let's start with a selection that really caught my eye. Ntokozo Makaza. I mean, it's kind of astonishing, isn't it? This guy hasn't played professional rugby yet.
No.
Just signed with the Cheetahs for the Currie Cup.
Uh-huh.
His impact in the Varsity Cup must have been, well, immense.
Oh, definitely. Look, his inclusion is fascinating because he brings that dynamic attacking play, that speed. He scored twice in the final, the win against Maddies, got Player of the Year too. It sort of suggests they're looking for that real explosive pace out wide.
Like a Colby or an Orenzi, that sort of pocket rocket type.
Exactly. He fits that mold.
Yeah.
And don't forget his boot. It's apparently deadly accurate. He's the Varsity Cup's all-time leading point scorer.
Yeah.
That adds, a whole other dimension.
It certainly does. Okay, another name that's great to see back in the mix is Warno Augustus.
Yeah.
He's been playing so consistently well for Northampton Saints, hasn't he? And hasn't really been involved since that green and gold match way back in 2020.
Right. And Augustus's inclusion, I think, it really underlines that the coaches are watching that overseas form closely. I mean, he was crucial in Northampton winning the premiership last season.
Huge game against Leinster, too, in the Champions Cup semi.
Exactly. A really strong performance there. It kind of feels like maybe he's nudged ahead of, say, Evan Roos in the pecking order for number 8 right now.
Interesting thought. He is a very well-rounded player.
He is.
And speaking of forwards, the news about Vincent Chituka getting his SAID and being eligible, that's significant too, sure.
Oh, hugely significant. Look, Chituka has shown consistent quality for ages, first at the Lions, now with the Sharks, helping them to that Currie Cup title, and his versatility. Comfortable at blindside, comfortable at 8. That's gold dust, isn't it?
No.
Especially with El Rilao out injured.
Yeah, that flexibility is key for squad depth.
Definitely.
We also saw 5 uncapped guys kept on from the first camp. Renzo Duplessis, Niesling Fouche, Asanathi Nalubokanye, Marnus van der Merwe, and Cobus Wise.
Yep, all retained.
And Marnus van der Merwe. I saw those comments he made about hoping his Scarlets form would get noticed. They call him the Linelli Warthog, apparently.
Yeah. For his work over the ball, like Malcolm Marx style.
A mini Marx. Though his inclusion comes as Johan Grobbelaar misses out, which is interesting.
It is, and it shows the coaches are really looking hard at specific roles. Renzo Duplessis sticking around suggests they're serious about open side options after his Currie Cup and URC performances. Then you've got Nalubokanye, powerhouse for the Lions up front, and Wise, thunderous form for the Bulls, can play lock or blindside. Again, versatility.
It's not just the players either, is it? The camp involves Dan Cunin, the scrum guru. He'll be working with a pretty impressive list of front rowers.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Fouché, Koch, Liu, Machunu, Nekshe, Nalubokanye, Steenkamp, Wessels, plus Dutoit from overseas. And the hookers. Yeah. Mbembe, Marks, van der Merwe, and Wessels. The depth there is, it's quite something.
It really is. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the Springbok alignment camp, do hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession to stay updated.
Good call. Now, let's maybe flip it. Let's talk about some of the omissions, the losers, if you like. Evan Roos not being there. That's definitely a talking point.
Yeah, it was a surprise for me, given he's been involved since his debut in 2022 and looked good for the Stormers since coming back from injury.
But, like we said with Augustus, maybe they're just casting the net wider, looking at different types of number 8s for now.
Fair point. What about at hooker? Johan Grobbelaar missing out seems, a bit puzzling.
It is a bit puzzling, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about developing depth behind Bongi and Malcolm Marx.
And Joseph Dweeba's obviously moved to Exeter Chiefs now, too.
Right. So Grobbelaar's absence does make you wonder a bit about the sort of succession planning there. Marnus van der Merwe gets his chance, but Grobbelaar showed promise. Maybe it's about specific skill sets right now.
Could be. And there are other guys missing out, too. Some talented back rowers like Ruan Venter, Fepsi Buthelezi, maybe Marcel Coetzee is the unluckiest, despite great form for the Bulls.
Yeah, Coetzee's been outstanding, but maybe age, at 34 counts against him slightly in these camps. It's tough.
And in the centers, Henko van Wyk and Jerenzo Julius are out, but the depth there is just immense, isn't it?
Oh, totally. You've got Creel, D'Alend, Am, Esterhausen. Plus guys like Hooker and Moody who can cover there. It's stacked.
Keegan Johannes, too, missing out despite his utility value for the Bulls at 9 and 10. But again, huge competition in both those spots.
Yeah, exactly. Pfaff, Hendricks, Williams, Grant. Then Pollard, Libok, Hendricks again at 10. Lots of quality.
And finally, we have to mention the injured players, obviously absent. Franz Malherbe, Ellery Lowe, Ben Jason Dixon, Dion Forey, Trevor Nyakine.
Yeah, a significant list. We obviously wish them all the best for recovery, especially Trevor Nyakine, given the concerns around his injury. Hope it's not too serious long term.
Absolutely. Well, that gives us a pretty good picture of this latest alignment camp squad. We'd love to hear what you think, actually. Who are you most excited about seeing get a look in? Any omissions that really surprised you? Let us know in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe to Rugby Obsession for more analysis like this.
Yeah, definitely. So that's been our deep dive into the selections. Lots of talking points, lots of potential signals about future direction.
What was the biggest takeaway for you looking at this list? Or maybe the biggest question mark it leaves?
Good question. For me, it underlines the incredible depth, but also the willingness to look beyond the obvious names, like Makaza. The question is, how many of these new faces push through for actual game time?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
For more of these detailed discussions, definitely make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Indeed. Thank you so much for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. We really look forward to you joining us for our next episode.